Hey everybody, Gabe with Late Night Dice and another episode of Ramblings from the Warp. As always, I'm joined by beautiful Kyle and fantastic Christian.
How you doing,
Hey.
folks?
I love that voice, Kyle. Thank you for running with that. So,
If I'm gonna be beautiful, I'm gonna act beautiful, damn it.
so it's day one after the 3.0 drops. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm gonna sound like a Sour Patch Kid through this whole thing.
We've been positive the entire time
I've
until it
I,
actually happened, and now we're like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't like broccoli on my pizza.
like, bro, I've been out here just like GAMESSS. I've been trying to stay up, and I still think 3.0 is going to be exciting. There's a lot of cool things. Reading through and doing some playthroughs, a lot of really fun stuff in this.
I just keep thinking of like, oh yeah, this has changed and this has changed. I'm like, all right, fuck, okay, fuck.
Look,
Yeah,
we're gonna get into it. I don't
yeah.
know the full details of it. This is my first time hearing it from again, but without even hearing anything, we just need y'all guys to know. In your community, our community, building community, we're going to have to make this better. We always have to say, and if someone from GW is listening to this, I doubt they are, but we got to say sometimes, fuck y'all. If y'all are making the game, however, we're still gonna play it, but it's up to us to reel it in and fix it. It shouldn't be that way, but
okay. So let's get into the nitty gritty. All right. So first things first. At first look, much to the internet's disagreement, I'll call it disagreement. There's actually not a lot that needs to be quote unquote fixed. The things that all right, what's pissing me off? What's pissing me off is this. Here's what's pissing me off. And this is for Games Workshop. If you guys are listening, this is purely for you guys. Just you can listen to this interaction. Games Workshop. Why in the seven hells would you put out an FAQ the day before I'm supposed to get the rule book? Not give me the Legacies PDF that you threw out as a life preserver to say, like, hey guys, the game's not dead, have some fun stuff. And instead of giving me that PDF on day one, you gave me the Talons of the Emperor PDF, which, insert asterisk, you bastards had to fix in the background 3 or 4 times. Shout out to the guys who have the 5 different iterations of the Vindicare Assassin out there.
Yeah, the one with 0 strength weapon, the other one has no attacks, the other one that has AP1 attacks.
Oh wait. Did y'all just say they released? Is that also the Custodes?
Yes, and you lost all of your Meridian Blades and you lost all of your Heteron Guard.
Yep.
So I lost everything that people were bitching about. Okay, and the ones they didn't have models for. All right, guys. Everyone listen to me that's a Custodes player. We reach out to Henry Cavill. We tell him give our shit back, and they listen to that guy. So
maybe
we'll be
so.
Okay.
So here's another thing that kind of bothered me is they still haven't released a PDF, and all the things I've heard about when we're going to get it is based entirely around GW's having a hangover moment. They're all around the car and they're like, we fucked up, and this is really going to be the life preserver. So I only have one more nugget of negativity, and then we're going to get into the positivity. So for the viewers, we all knew that we were getting all the books, right? So right now, Gabe has a small library sitting on his desk. I've got the Liber Hereticus, the Liber Astartes, the Liber Auxilia. I've got the Liber Thagmata. I've got the Liber Titans and Knights. I have the rulebook, and I have the journal. Istvan 5 Journal Book 1. Now, a wise man from another podcast told me, for future reference, these books do not come shrink wrapped. If you know what that means, I'm proud of you. Now we're going to get into why I feel that way and why he's right. The Drop Site Istvan Part 1 has a total content of 48 pages. There are no rules in this book until you get to page 32. On page 40 to 43, there is essentially a section for battlefield assets, which are additional, if you want to call them additional terrain rules, you can, or additional objectives. Cool, that's fine. But they're one of those if you choose to use them kind of things. And then pages 44 to 48 are usable rules in the Horus Heresy game. Now, I'd like to point out that pages 34 to 38 are pictures. There are more goddamn pictures in this book than rules.
Do they at least pop out?
Dude, they're not even, bro. Like I tried red and blue glasses. I did some things. I got no 3D. Like there's no avatar in this. And the model showcases that they used are kind of like to show like, hey, here's this and here's this. And it feels like they put in the Master of Descent, right? Which Master of Descent, really cool. They put in this new thing called Augur Command and Control. Now, Christian, do you remember? Do you remember? Do you remember when they leaked the new Rapier battery crews and they were like, "Hey, you're going to be able to use these Rapier battle crews for HQ choices"? Remember they said that?
Yeah.
Building this unit, the Augur Command and Control Squad can be represented by using the crew models from the Rapier battery.
Huh?
Yeah, this Augur this Augur Command unit that they made out of this book. There are only 3 unit entries. You have the Master of Descent with his little planetfall spear tip detachment he can give you.
Yeah.
You get this new Augur Command and Control unit, and you get the Hyperios missile tank.
Okay.
After that, there are some new prime advantages for the Interdiction cadres, which the Interdiction cadre is the prime advantage, right?
Yeah.
That's all that's in the Drop Site Massacre Journal. I feel like I bought a Playboy and they want me to read it for the articles. Like
And the articles have already been leaked.
Yeah, the articles are already out there.
No, this is the other thing I want to point out, and this is part of what I brought this up, and a guy was like, "Yeah, but on page 32 and 33 is the new legendary mission." I would like you all to know that this legendary mission was leaked the day before this book came out when they dropped the Talons of the Emperor 2 months ahead of time on the drop schedule, FAQ'd the book that hadn't come out yet, and did give me the PDF that has the goddamn units I need to not be mad at the world. I'm done. That is all the negative I have for this episode.
Okay. No.
Fire.
Okay.
So the mission,
we're focusing on this book. We are focusing on this just because they're going to release more, and this is what concerns me.
Yeah. So the journal, in its entirety, the contents of the journal, it gives you the first wave mission. It's called the first wave. Now that would probably be a lot more influential if it hadn't been dropped 24 hours before I got a copy of this book. If you go onto the Games Workshop site right now and you go into the downloads on the Warhammer community page, go to Horus Heresy, there are 2 FAQs/erratas, and there is this additional mission. It is verbatim, line by line, comma by comma, period by period, a copy of what is in the Istvan Drop Site Massacre Part 1.
Okay. Well, this is what I'm gonna get to. I don't know, so I'm asking. I'm gonna try to make it better. If I make it worse, it is what it is. Okay, so let's say they did release this PDF file. So now you bought something. The missions are in there. On a scale of 1 to 10, the other pages, are they new lore that we haven't got that someone new could read, or maybe a veteran could read, or is there any lore in there from the Horus Heresy?
If you are a first edition Horus Heresy player, please mute your podcast broadcast for 15 seconds. No, it is a retconned retelling of the Istvan massacre to account for Saturnines and to account for salamanders to be fighting Iron Warriors in the Urgal Depression, where they never fought in the first release of the novels in the book story.
So now we're telling stories that haven't been heard before because they're now putting models that they're making that we don't have to fit their narrative.
No, okay, so yes and no. That's actually a fantastic way to ask that question. So, in first edition of Horus Heresy, you had Saturnines, and you had disintegrators, and you had all that. But as you guys noticed in 2.0, you guys played for a pretty good time in 2.0. You guys never even encountered a disintegrator rifle.
No.
It was a playable model. It existed, but you had to buy the one-off model that GW made that had the disintegrator rifle and the beaky helmet. It was really weird.
Mhm.
This book is essentially making light retcons to the specific battle during the heresy to say, hey, look, this is where the Saturnines were. This is where the disintegrator rifles were. This is the introduction. They're reintroducing them to the story to bring them back into the fold, right? Because also, I think you guys have been playing Warhammer for quite some time now. Both you and Kyle both have been playing Warhammer for a while. None of you have ever seen an original Rogue Trader Saturnine Terminator up close.
I have, but I
You
think that's
have.
because of you. But out in the wilderness, out in the wild, no.
Yeah, they're like finding original custodes where they just rocked a loincloth and a spear. Like they're not very well circulated, right? It's hard to find them.
Yeah, they're tiny.
This is GW's way of being like, hey, there's been a lot of love and a lot of fluff going around about these models. We want to reintroduce them. People really like them, and so this was their way of. This is a Back to the Future moment, for lack of a better explanation. They're going back and putting seeds in to add it to the story, but the overarching broad strokes of the story are still the same.
They're putting money on the cubbies. Okay, I understand.
Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. They're putting money on the Cubs, dog.
Okay, so back to the original question. So if you would have to rate the lore for new people coming through on this book, 1 out of 10, we have to add the price in there too. Is it a bad price to buy for this, whatever lore it is? I haven't read it. I know you skimmed through it. Is there...
If you are new, and you like when I say you're new, I'm saying like you haven't read some other stuff and you're kind of wanting to just learn about the Horus Heresy, it's about a 7 out of 10. It's a good read. And most importantly, and this is what I can't stress enough why this is so important, it's a light read. So when you guys ask me questions about the Horus Heresy, you're like, hey Gabe, who's Garviel Loken? Dude, I turned to that part and it's Sunny in Philadelphia, and I got the board behind me, and I'm like, Garvin Loken was originally a Luna Wolf, and this string goes over here, and he had a good friend. His name was Abaddon, right? And then Abalon was friends with Horus Axaman, and Axaman was friends with Togadin. Like, it's a whole wormhole, right? If you're new to the game, it's a fantastic read because it's only like 25 pages of story. Anybody can read 25 pages. You read that much when you buy a new codex. GW's been doing this on the 40K side of the game for years and years, and on the Horus Heresy side. You go out, you buy a Liber. The first like 5 or 6, portions of the book are story about the legions and where they come from and what they do. It's the same thing, but it's focusing on the drop site massacre. I think for a new player, or even some of the old grizzled veterans who maybe haven't read through all of the lore and want to learn more about where it started and how it all kicked off, it's a great read.
Okay.
Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, my eyes are burning at like an 8 because I chewed through all 7 of these books in a day.
Yeah. Well, okay, so there is some saving grace about the book, but not a lot. I get that.
Now, here's what I will say, and this is what's going to push an unnecessary amount of money toward Games Workshop. Okay, are y'all ready for this piece of information?
Mhm.
Are you really a collector if you don't have all the books?
Are you working for GW? Are you a spy right now?
No,
Are you?
No,
bro,
okay, I'm gonna get the core rule book and the Liber Hereticus, and that's it.
That's fine. That's fine. But I tell you what, my boy John over at the ABB group, he'll have every one of these. Why? Because he's a collector. Gabe will have every one of them because he's a collector, right? I have every iteration of Codex Space Marines have ever produced, and I am one away from having every special edition of every Codex for Ultramarines and Space Marines that's ever been produced in the history of this game, from Rogue Trader to now. I'm a collector. I will have that book, right? I'll do it. What I will say is if you are a player who is playing the game simply to play the game, one of your friends probably has this book.
Yeah.
That puts it on a better I guess we're gonna say, judging off of what you said, lore wise, if you want it for the lore and you want to read all of it, you said 7 out of 10. You don't need this book to play the game. They released the PDF of the mission and everything, and I promise you someone's gonna have the information for those 3 units. If it's only
Yeah,
4 pages, it's gonna be out there.
If you're a collector and you want to read the book, by all means go pick it up. But if you're going to just play Horus Heresy, you can get by without this book. The information will be out there.
And on GW's track record, just to let y'all guys know, when they release new stuff, it's not really new to them because they have it months in advance, like 6 months in advance, probably that, and they fuck up. So they're going to release it themselves online to show where they fuck up, and you'll have the information there. So, yeah, I agree. It's probably a 2 out of 10 if you don't really need this book to play the game.
So moving on from there, like I said, I spent all day yesterday from round about 4 o'clock until midnight just reading. Actually, that's a lie because we were hanging out with Duncan and them until probably 2. And we were still chewing on some of this.
Yeah. And arguing and bitching and praising and arguing and bitching and praising. It's
That's
a
the
vicious
thing.
circle.
That's the thing about it, and we got to understand. And this is like I said in the beginning, we're collectors. We do it for the hobby. There's a lot of people that don't even play the game and do it for the hobby. There's still a lot of good in this product. There's still a lot of good in this game. 3.0 still has a lot of good going for it. It's just the way that GW feeds it to us is like they're fucking feeding us shit sometimes.
No, 100%. Like I'm
Here's your
not.
shit sandwich, and you're gonna enjoy it.
I honestly I say this as well as I
No.
can. I know that Kyle doesn't agree with me necessarily. I like 3.0. Reading through all the rules and all the things, I think the game is going to be fun.
Now,
but if you could stop producing the information like you have fucking Alzheimer's, that would really go
yeah.
a long way to helping other people get to where I am with it. Because I know how the game's played. You guys know how the game's played in the sense of how GW sends out information. Like it's going to be this slow trickle through a T diffuser, and every third drop is a bucket of piss. I know how they do what they do. But what I'm saying is, if you would quit doing that when you're trying to get new players or when there's excitement around something with new players, you will get more people playing the game.
It's like that Simpsons episode where Homer goes to that like Wicked shop or whatever to get like free stuff, but everything's cursed. It's like free yogurt. And he's like, that's good. He's like, but the yogurt's cursed. He goes, oh, that's bad. And it's blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's cursed too. Like everything we have, we've been on a roller coaster with them. We got a new edition. We were at a high point.
It's 100%.
Yeah.
It's 100% buying relics from the devil in Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's going to have something awesome, and then it's going to be horrible at some degree. Right. Now, the biggest thing about it is overall 3.0, doing the arch. Kyle and I went through some scenarios and did some stuff, which we got cataclysmically wrong at first. I like 3.0. There are a lot of things about it I really, really, really like, and they feel more thematic. They feel more in line with how things are represented. You just have to you have to embrace the change. That's the hardest part. As soon as you embrace the change, you cut the cord and you just go for it, you'll be fine. And you'll really enjoy it. Specifically, the challenge subphase is amazing.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. Yeah.
Like, there's going to be some people out there that are like, this new challenge phase is stupid. That's fine. You're allowed to have your opinion. I think it's actually really thematic. It's achieving that epic fight that they're going for with this rule set. There is going to be an occasion where you get into a fight and you're like, man, I got to make sure I pick the right gambit at the right time with the right weapon and the right challenge, or I'm going to die.
Yeah, from what I've read through and saw some people and some like battle reports and stuff, this edition to me seems like there are more chances to have epic moments and memorable moments than there were in 2.0. To where I'm not saying there weren't any, but they crafted the game around for everything to seem epic. They try to make it where moments could happen, to where some crazy shit could happen. Like, pretty sure you and Kyle have some. Well, like, what's one of the moments that y'all had that you were talking about when y'all were testing some of this stuff?
So normally, a Primarch on Primarch fights kind of go the distance. Mortarion cut G-Man in half in round 1.
Yeah. I chose
Wait, hold on. Round 1.
Yeah.
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 I hit him and fucking one shot him.
Bro, we got to the ding ding, and before the third bell hit, I was on my ass, dude. It really does. It really does come down to, did you pick the right gambit at the right time against the right opponent? And there's a lot of things that go into that sub phase, and we're going to break it all down. So you guys know we are working on some short videos where we break down individual sections of the game. Not quite battle reports, but actual small videos that explain phase by phase, item by item, how things break down in the core basic games. That's what we're working on. Our first attempt was bad because, as we stated earlier, as war gamers, we read the first half of a paragraph and then we don't finish the second.
No, it's not even that. We would read the whole paragraph. We didn't read the 5th paragraph in this section that told us, okay, when you're done with this, go back to the first one.
Oh, so it's like a Goosebumps book. You get to one page and it says you either go here or here, and if you fuck up that page, it just doesn't make sense to you, huh?
Oh no, it's so much weirder. So what it does, like, so the instance that Kyle's talking about is the first initial part says you have to declare all of your charges and do all your things and resolve all your charges. And so you're like, okay, we have to do all of them. That's incorrect. What happens is when you go through the charges and you go from 1, you go through it, it walks through this whole sequence of how the charge phase goes. And when you get to the end of the charge sequence, it says, now go back to the beginning and do this for all of your declared charges.
Go back and do this again for the next unit.
Right. So if you don't go all the way to that very last sub paragraph, then the rule is ambiguous. And when we were talking about last night, dude, our buddy Brian from the ABB, he goes, it's right there. It's in normal English. It's not hieroglyphics or anything. Why are y'all confused? And I'm like, dude, it doesn't say that. He goes, yeah, go to page whatever and read the last paragraph. And Kyle's like, well, that's a problem. We didn't get that far, asshole. Like, so 100%, it was hilarious, man. So, but the fight subphase is really good. The way volley attacks work and all that kind of stuff is really, it's really thematic. It's actually kind of the tempo of how a battle would go to a degree. I can tell you there are like 2 or 3 small things where you're kind of like, meh. But the overall sum that I have is it's going to be a fun game. It really is going to be a fun game. Tanks are going to play a bigger role. And I think that everyone who's ever played against me needs to remember the acronym that I tell everyone. Every single person who's ever played with me. They're like, Gabe, man, I'm trying to win this game. I'm like, did you PTFO?
Play the fucking objective?
Did you play the fucking objective? Right? That's going to be kind of crucial in Horus Heresy now. The fun part is depending on how you build your army, you can PTFO with beat sticks. You can PTFO with an elite army. you can roll through the objectives with, I was talking to our buddy John about this earlier today, and there's a legal way to bring 50 Dawnbreakers. I don't know how to deal with that.
We don't know how to deal with that yet.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
Yet.
Right? Don't get me wrong. You give me a bottle of bourbon, 2 days, and a can-do attitude. I'll find a way to kill anything. But it's funny because any list option really can work with this. Now, don't get me wrong. I still, if I'm ever in a room with the person who made these new army composition rules, I may or may not club him with a drumstick. But it makes sense for if you want to, you can build however you want to build within reason. The other thing that's going to be really fun about this edition that I haven't seen a ton of people touch on, I don't think this edition you're going to be able to use the excuse of I got diced.
What do you mean by that?
I play Thousand Suns. Watch me.
So there's a lot of games where guys will come out and they'll say, "Oh yeah, man, I got diced." Just his dice. His dice they rolled hot, and my dice rolled cold. I don't think that excuse is valid anymore. And the reason I say that is because, dude, there might be 3 ways to get a reroll in this whole book. You're as even keel as you can get. There are some options out there that give you a modification here or there. But I think with what Kyle and I were looking at, I think we only came across 1 or 2 instances of modification, and it was adding damage or adding strength. It wasn't adding to the roll.
Okay. Well, I see what you're saying by that. But no, there are people that are still going to come if they don't have rerolls or any pluses or any way to whatever, and it's even on even playing field. They're going to say, he just rolled hot the whole night. It wasn't him. It was just his dice. People are...
I made no tactical mistakes. It was all because my dice failed.
My dice, yeah. When it becomes to a dice game, everyone has in their head, well, I didn't do anything wrong. It was the dice. That's just how some people are.
If my dice had rolled hot enough, I would have killed everything, and then I would have been able to take the objectives.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% think that one of the coolest parts of this whole thing is that there isn't dice manipulation. Not like there was. The whole idea of like, I'm going to add a chaplain to give me, rerolls in close combat. And then I'm going to add, this other thing that's going to give me +1 to my hit modifiers and all this. There's some stuff that does it, but not near as much as there used to be.
Not yet. I mean,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But right now, as the game is right now, it's just going to be how well you can build a list. It's not going to be about what can you do to make yourself hit on 2s. It's going to be harder.
And that's the beauty of it. People need to understand that I get it. Some people are mad and shit, but we're in this phase right now where no one knows what's good. We're all testing shit out. It's in its infancy where we don't have GW giving us a whole bunch of fucking new books that are adding stuff that make the game probably a little bit like, how would you say, adding more not overpowered units, but you get what I'm saying. Pushing a unit out and they're saying buy this unit so they make it a little bit better. We're at this stage where everything is playable. We're all learning together. There's something about to me there's some beauty about that. We're all starting over right now. We could take the game the way it is, with no one fucking with it right now. I think this is the best time to start playing. Everyone's on an even playing field. I don't know if y'all agree with that or not, but
no, I get what you're saying. Like, I think we're all going to be kind of in it. I think what's going to end up being kind of like, I think what's going to be the tell of the tape for a lot of people is the PDF document. Because there's still a lot of people waiting to, like, the guys who are building armies right now out of what's in the Libers, props, cool, that's pretty awesome. I'm waiting for the PDF. I'm not going to build anything army-wise or anything until I have the PDF because I want to see what I really can and can't do. And one of the funniest things to come out of everything that we've seen is a bunch of guys are freaking out. And they're like, you know what? I don't really care. We're gonna play 2.0, or we're gonna play Dab War, or we're gonna play 1.5. And it's like, okay, if that's what you want to play, that's fine. These are the guys who are saying this game is terrible and we're not going to support this. If you're still buying the models, you support it.
Yeah.
Learn to protest with your wallet or quit bitching. So, that being said, I'll wait for the PDF. When the PDF comes out, I'm going to really draw my conclusions on how I'm going to do things and how I'm going to build. No matter what, we're full speed ahead. It's 3.0 game till we drop. Like, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to play with all of it. And like I said, we are going to do a breakdown of individual phases and operations and how things work. And so far, what we've seen, it's pretty good. There's just going to be a lot closer games, I feel like. Those days, and you guys saw this a lot in 2.0, where you play the game, and at the very end of the game, you're like, all right, I've got a tactical squad and a scout left.
Yeah.
I think those games are gone.
For right now, they're gone, and that's what I was trying to hint at again. For right now, you don't feel bad for like. There's no meta. There's no however you want to put it. People cringe when I say meta, but fuck it. Even though y'all made it a meta. If you can't look at your army and go, this is kind of bad. Why? Because I don't have one Las Cannon squad. I don't at least have one Contemptor Dreadnought. I don't have. Y'all put a fucking. Horseherry community is the one that, put that out there that these models are good. We don't know that yet. So you can make whatever the fuck you want and play with it right now. You don't have to have that stigma of like your list is not good if you don't have these models.
I agree.
So,
and the other thing that's going to be pretty cool, at least to me, and I'm so ready for it, is I'm ready for the notion of we're all playing and we're all doing what we're doing, but gone are the days. Like, a lot of guys are going to get mad at me for this, be mad. Gone are the days of what gives you that? My Rite of War. Oh, cool. My Rite of War sucks, so never mind.
yeah. Hold on, wait. I think an Ultramarine player used to.
Yeah. Present and accounted for. Gone are the days of me having to shout from the damn rafters. Then you're like, man, sure would be cool to have a fucking Rite of War that worked. That'd be real awesome. And I know there's going to be guys out there like, what are you talking about? The Ultramarines Rite of War is amazing. No, it's not. You're wrong. I'll die on that hill. That Rite of War sucks. I'll put it to you this way. I've never run my Ultramarines full tilt and lost to an Ultramarine player running that Rite of War. Right? I've never looked at that Rite of War and been like, oh shit, guys, he brought the Logos Lectora. We're gonna have to think about this one. That's never crossed my mind. Right. Not to say you can't pilot it competitively or meta. It's not like you can't pilot it. It's still gonna be okay. But I 100% will wreck your stuff a lot easier just building out a regular list with no Rite of War. Meanwhile, I got guys over here like, oh yeah, my Rite of War makes it so every time I breathe in, my dice go better. Like, it was so hard, man. And so,
why do you have to describe my Rite of War like that, bro? I just reroll ones.
Yeah, like it's so gone are the days. Yeah, gone are the days where a Rite of War feels like it's either giving teeth or taking teeth. That's gone. And so we're all pretty much on a level playing field. It's going to come down to how you tactically pilot the army. That's 3.0 in a nutshell. Is they dialed back a lot of the crazy, which 50-50 how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it, but I can tell you that
crazy yet, right?
No, I've read through every book that's here. There's not a lot of crazy. The craziest it gets is Mortarion does how many wounds on the hit?
Yeah, man, that's crazy. The new rules for damage, they clarified it. If you get wounded 3 times and you fail 2 of your saves, but those wounds do 2 damage, you take the 2 saves, not 4 saves like you used to do for brutal.
Okay, you explained that horribly.
You're right. You're right. Let me start over.
The damage.
No. Let me redeem myself. Let me redeem myself. You get hit by a damage 2 weapon, and you get hit 3 wounds. You take 3 saves, not 6 saves. You don't take a save for the damage, you take a save for the wounds. And if you fail one of those wounds, you take 2 damage.
Correct.
Yeah. Ah! Redemption.
So the new rules for wounding is damage happens after the armor save. So
this is and this is what I said. We're gonna have to get the reps in and brain this into our heads, because I'm playing 3 different fucking games right now where they keep on switching up how fucking. Oh, okay. That's confusing. That is confusing. Well, at least to me.
no, it's not, because if you go through a sequence of events, it's roll to hit, roll to wound, roll armor saves, calculate damage.
Okay. See, and this is also a thing. You just said it again, and then now I understand it now.
Yeah.
This is the same
You know why you understand it? Because I didn't say. So when a mommy and a daddy really love each other and they do this and they do this, like Kyle's not used to explaining rules. Give
No,
him
but
these.
it's not the way that Kyle explained it. It's the same way that we were talking about the last episode where we were saying there are too many steps. I took it for how he told me it, and I tried to look at every fucking like 9 steps. And then when I thought about it within the game and how much we cut out, I'm like, oh, that's just almost the same thing. Like, it made more sense.
Yeah, and the thing is like as Kyle was explaining it, I'm like, that's kind of wait, and he was like, let me redeem myself, and I'm like, no, he explained it right, but I was there when we figured it out. So like, I have the information, you don't. Right. So yeah, 100%. Like once you get it broken down to where you can actually interpret the information is going to be the hard part. Because I will say this, fair warning to everybody: these books are literally bloated.
Yeah.
There is a shit ton of. If you are doing this, you are able to see yourself. You are considered to be within range of yourself. You are considered to be in range of yourself when you see yourself. I am not kidding. That is explained. So there's a lot of literary bloat where they over explained so much. And their method behind it, I know, is clarification. Right? They clarified a lot more in this edition than they did in 2.0. There's not as much ambiguous information. The problem is you have to read it in its entirety to get past the ambiguous interpretation. So yeah. I'm excited, man. I think it's going to be a great addition. I think it's going to be fantastic. I'm not mad at all about the rules right now. I'm mad that GW is deploying them like an Alzheimer's patient.
Huh. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my complication. Now, some things to make note of, right? Some things to make note of, and this is gonna be a hard pill to swallow. Some things are gone. They're not going to be a thing. I know, much to Christian's dismay, and I could be wrong. But they launched the Custodes PDF, and Heteron Guard and Meridian Blades aren't in it. And I can't imagine that they would be like, we made a PDF for your PDF. Like, I don't think Exhibit's going to pop up and be like, yo, dog, I heard you like PDF, so I put a PDF in your PDF to fix your PDF. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, they'll just ghost hotfix it and say, it was always there. What are you talking about?
So
yeah, like,
here's the thing. So, okay. speaking about those units, because I play them, we never had models for that units. So yes, we don't have them right now. I 100% see them probably bringing that model back when they actually release that book for Custodes in plastic, and they're going to use the Blade Master. Sorry, I call him the Sword Wizard because he has 3 different profiles in 40k. But the Blade Master, I supported them. I bought 5 of them from 40k so I could play them in 30k because that's the only model that is able to represent that model in 30k. So there's still hope. There's still hope that they're going to make that model. So I'm fine with that. But I lost one of my badass models. Yeah, it sucks, but there's hope that they still bring stuff back. So it is what it is.
Now they did come out and be like, we made typos. And they fixed a lot of that. Like you said, I don't know what the point was of dropping that the day before I got the book.
Huh.
Like it almost had that same feeling of when you show up for a class and the professor's like, I know I just you bring this $500 book, but we only need pages 3 through 9. That's how it feels. You can't continue to invalidate a published edition of something before it releases. That's never been the Horus Heresy way. That's a 40k thing all day, every day. Yeah, Horus Heresy never really had that dynamic, and it bothers me that it's bleeding over into this community. Now, things that I'm kind of worried about. I'm kind of worried that the luster of the game, due to the way GW, due to the way they did it, I'm worried that the fumbling of the drop is going to dissuade people from the game. I'm worried that, if you drop the ball once, great. But you can't Forrest Gump this shit continuously, day after day, and expect people to just be excited about it. Like, realistically, man, like, for what it is, right? For a good chunk of people, at minimum, the average everyday Horus Heresy player went out yesterday and bought a starter box and or a rule book. They bought a Liber for their army, and then they bought this 48-page White Dwarf. And
I'm sorry for laughing, but you said Forrest Gump, and I'm thinking about all these books you're about to say people bought, and they just, like, GW fucked them over, and I'm thinking Forrest Gump is just like stupid is as stupid does. Just
right,
like straight.
So at minimum, you went out and spent $180 on books. The average player went out and spent $180 on literature, right? And it's hard to make people feel like that investment is worth it. If the day before they were supposed to go get these books, they're like, by the way, we forgot how to type. So here's some fixes for that book that you're about to spend $70 on. Here's fixes for that book. By the way, those boxes of models that we're sending to people, the internet, since yesterday, there's an entire Reddit subthread about my shit showed up broken.
Not just broken, like the box is damaged, but also like the resin. I mean, not the resin. The plastic sprues are fuzzy, like a chest piece where the Aquila is fuzzy because the plastic didn't mold right or something. Quality is just terrifyingly bad.
And I'm telling you, it's because they were sitting on these things for a while. I'm pretty sure they had the Saturnine box sitting somewhere like for a while, and it's just they're like, fuck it, we're gonna send this shit out.
I don't doubt that at all. What I'm more worried about is Games Workshop dropped, in my opinion, they dropped in multiple fronts. They dropped in the first front of, I know how much money you fucks made last year. Learn to proofread. You can even get computers that do it for you.
Yeah, AI is starting to write books. Why can't y'all just get a fucking? Oh, that's too harsh.
I
Never
just,
mind.
I just know. I know in my heart of hearts, there's some poor intern at GW yelling out, "My name is Toby," because he's getting beat to shit over these releases because they forgot to put a comma somewhere, and that one comma, some other dude in some place was like, actually, rules is written, it says this and this, and it's a continuation of the same sentence, so it's the same sequence. You guys have got to start getting people involved to actually play the fucking game to not whiff these drops so hard. Right? Because it wasn't just that the models were potentially damaged. It's that the books were not packaged properly. So some of the books were damaged. In my box that I picked up yesterday, my transfer sheet is folded like a fucking taco. There's a crease going through the salamander iconography of the head. I can't use that. Right? 3 of my 7 books have corner damage out of the cellophane. That's common. I can't knock it. That's shipping. That's UPS. I'm not going to put that on you, but you really do need to get better boxes. This shit gets old. Okay. Then you botch the rules. Then the only thing that you guaranteed, you set it months in advance. You say, hey guys, here's the roadmap. The day before the books were eligible, it was the first thing you fucked up. Like I just don't understand how, from the outside looking in, if you're a brand new person, right? Right, if you're brand new to a game and you're like, yeah, man, I'm really excited about Horus Heresy 3.0, and you're like, are you really? Yeah. And you're like, what do you think about their models? Like, man, Games Workshop makes beautiful models. I say that with all of my heart, with a full conviction. I do think Games Workshop makes some of those beautiful models in the world.
Yep.
I will not doubt that at all. If you look at some of the Age of Sigmar stuff, you look at some of this Horus Heresy stuff, you look at some of the 40K stuff, they do make some of the prettiest and high quality models in the world. But then you fuck up the quality on a new edition drop? So some new guy is going to open his brand new Age of Darkness box 3.0 and be like, oh man, look at these Saturnines. Why do they have fucking beards? Is it supposed to have a beard? No, it's plastic fuzz. Where it came out of the mold lines incorrectly, or we botched the batch. Okay, well, I'll call him about that. Let me look at the transfers. Oh no, the transfers look like crumpled up newspaper that somebody used for fish and chips. Horrible. You
Oh
have to
man,
think.
let me build my Saturnine terms. I'm so excited. Why do I have an extra sprue of bodies and not a sprue of weapons?
Yeah, that was a really common thing
Oof.
where it came with multiple sets of legs and no arms. Right?
Oh fuck, dude.
This is brand new, motherfuckers. It's brand new. It's day one. From the eyes of a new player, like from a veteran player like me, I'm like, okay, I'll reach out to Games Workshop and I'll tell them, hey, dog, you gave me like 3 sets of Terminator that are Lieutenant Dan. Cool. They'll fix it. Games Workshop is really good about taking care of their clients and getting some turnarounds done on that. That's fine. The problem is this is a brand new drop, and you're trying to lure in new players and make the game inviting and fun and all this stuff. I know that you didn't write these rules for players like me because this shit ain't the heresy I know. I'm okay with it, and I'm going to change with 3.0, but I know you didn't go out there and be like, hey, 2.0, what do you guys think it needs? Oh, we think it needs a rules errata. Oh, you said brand new game? Yeah, we got you, fam. Cool. You're trying to get new people into the game. If you were writing a how-to guide on how to make a failing launch, you nailed it. If you were trying to get people to play this game, you dropped the ball in every possible way. Like, from a personal standpoint, I know that when these erratas dropped yesterday, I called my local store and said, hey, can I come get my stuff? And they were like, no, man, street date. And I'm like, clearly Games Workshop doesn't give a shit. They gave me the FAQ for the book I can't buy yet. Imagine how cool that is. You know, so it's just overall, the launch looks bad. Again, I'm still very excited about the game. I'm going to play 3.0. I'm going to enjoy playing 3.0. It's going to be fantastic. Because there was a lot of really cool stuff on the playthrough we did. But don't ask my opinion about the quality of the launch.
Hey, Gabe, how do you feel about the quality of the launch?
You ever had bad Mexican food and gone for a jog?
Oh shit! Literally.
If you can imagine the feeling of shitting your pants on a stout run, that's probably about the feeling of cohesion this launch was. Again, I think the game's going to be fine, but whoever is coordinating quality control and all these things, I think you're right. I think they were sitting on them for a while and they wanted the launch to go well, but they were at the time they thought maybe they were behind the ball or something, and they may have slipped on quality control.
Yeah. Okay. I know we just ranted about this, and some people are gonna say it's kind of stupid for me to ask this, but no, I'm gonna ask this anyways. So you read through the books. That hit rules. That hit them changing some rules. That hit them just fucking it up completely. But that's, I'm gonna ask, was that mostly rules, or is there still some saving grace for these codex that, like I said from the first one, lore wise, is there at least a good chunk of lore that you could learn for each legion, or is there any saving grace in these books that you could be like, hey, this is where they actually did good?
So
I don't like that you laughed right there.
okay, so let's go from the top, right? Lore wise, and this is gonna be one of those things that when I say it, you're gonna go, what? Lore wise, this book has
What book are we
three
talking about?
the Liber Astartes and the Liber Hereticus.
Okay, cool.
The Liber Astartes has 328 pages.
Okay.
And this is actually going to be a really shocking revelation to you, and you're going to be like, holy shit. There are 4 pages of lore.
So when you say 4 pages of lore, you mean like how they used to do it, where there's like, well, no, it was more than that, but I'm just saying 4 pages of lore per each legion, and then you go into their legion.
No, I said 4 pages of lore.
Okay, I was just making sure, you know. What?
Yeah, so you cracked the book up. Now, if you're talking bang for your buck, you bought a rule book. The bitch has rules. I'll tell you, it's got rules. So it opens up and it has the foreword and it does all of that, right? And it talks about what's in the book and all that. Now, here's something that's going to piss a lot of new players off. Pages 4 and 5 are all of the point values. Or I'm sorry, it's the table of contents. 4 and 5 are the table of contents, where it breaks down each individual page of like where everything is. Pages 8 and 9 are the composition of Astartes battle forces, like what command is, what chapters are, what strike forces are, what a demi company is.
Mm-hmm.
And then pages 10 and 11 are a breakdown of like how Legion Command is set up in a whole structure. Like there's chapters and how many battle barges are in each chapter and all that. Pretty cool lore. Page 12 is rules.
Okay. So when the leaks actually happened and we saw like what unit went where, and then it showed the legions on one page, and it just showed the 3 units like for every fucking legion. They're really just saying, hey, yeah, the whole book leaked. This is the only fucking like 10 pages you need, because everything else is gonna get rewritten, or
Yeah,
it's in English, Spanish, and fucking.
So you look at it. You look at it. They broke
God
this
damn.
down. They broke it down unit by unit, line by line, rule by rule, armory, lists like that. Now with the legions, when you look at the legions, At the end of each legion, there is an army showcase. And then there is a few pages, like 3 or 4 pages for each one, that go over heraldry, what the icons on the armor mean. But there is no like, and this is probably the number one most shocking thing about the entire book. You know, so if I'm looking at, say, the salamanders, right? It used to say, you know, okay, here's fire drakes, and then it would show like a brief summary of what the fire drakes were. It'd show all their profiles, and then on the side, it would have a little side flavor that say, you know, like, hey, the fire drakes are world renowned for blah 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 blah.
Don't tell me
That's
they don't have pictures of what model it is, or they don't have the colors, or don't have the Legion colors. Please tell me they're
no, they
they're
do
showing what
those.
they're selling.
Those
Okay.
those are in the army showcase. Right before the army showcase, there's like at the end of each legion, it shows like, here are the colors of the legion, here are the
Okay.
iconography of the legion, here's a showcase of the painted models in the legion, but it doesn't give as much lore information in the books as you had in previous iterations. Another thing about this that's kind of crazy, and this is going to be one of those things that will either make you really mad or really happy. The back, like 15 pages of the book, is the armory. All of your weapons are in one place.
Not all of them.
At the front of the book, and when I say at the very front of the book, I'm talking on page like 19 or 20. Yeah, page 20 to 21 is where you find the point values for all of the war gear that's listed at the back. Yeah, I figured I was going to give an awkward silence there.
Yeah.
So instead of putting the point values next to the armory, so where you could have the point values on the first couple pages and then the army the pages after that, you're
Does it even
instead.
tell you to go? Does it even tell you to, like, after reading this, you could find anything here? Do they even have a?
No. No, like I said, the book, when I said these books are very rules heavy, like they're very literarily bloated, I'm for real on that. There's a ton of, you know, you look at a model, and that model, it has all of its rules, it has all of its stuff, and then it has very, very specific breakdowns on how that stuff works. You know, you look at, say, like a land raider. The land raider goes by one and actually tells you, you know, hey, you have this option. You can pay for these options next. It's very cut and dry on a lot of the war gear. That's what's kind of weird about these Libers. Like, if you were trying to get bang for your buck and trying to get the most rules out of a book you came to the right place. There's a ton of rules in these.
Right.
Um,
Speaking of Spartans, it's my turn to get on my soapbox. You've had your soapbox. It's my soapbox's turn.
all right.
What you got?
Running over a unit with a tank. When the tank is done with its movement, your unit that got ran over takes D6 wounds.
No.
I don't know any better.
Yes.
I haven't read through the rules. But
So
what's your point? That, like, what before we? Okay.
I'll explain the rule, and then Kyle's can explain why he's mad about it.
Cool.
Tank shock is gone. It used to be you took a tank, you ran it up to the unit, and you made contact with the unit, and then the unit took a hit, a certain number of hits based on the armor value of the tank and all that stuff. All that's gone. Now, what it does is tanks move freely over units. If a tank moves over an enemy unit, at the end of that movement, any enemy unit that it went over takes D6 strength 4 AP nothing hits.
Yeah, sorry. I
D6.
said wound, I meant hits.
D6 strength 4 AP nothing.
Hits.
Uh,
Now, Kyle, why does this upset you?
yeah, why does that accept you, Kyle?
If you just so happen to have one guy that just gets the base of his little army man touched by a Spartan as it's driving by, 6 guys can die.
And?
That makes no sense. I'm not going to say it's not thematic, because if you have one guy with his little teensy little arm sticking out on the other side of a building and he gets shot by 17 guys, 17 guys can die. But for tanks, whatever model gets run over should be the model that it should be on a model by model basis. That's
So
all I'm saying.
I have a question.
Okay, go for it.
Kyle, if I were being run over by a tank, would you try to save me?
Yes. If I was too
So
far
there-
away to get to you, no.
But if you saw me actively being run over by a tank, would you lean over and try to pull me so I wouldn't get run over by the tank?
Okay, but would it be 6 people? Well,
Is
you maybe it may take
is
6 people.
Okay. I'm gonna break this up. I get where y'all gonna go, and y'all are like brothers. Y'all are gonna go back and forth the whole time, bullshitting each other. Even if one of the other one knows it's right, and the one of them goes it's wrong, you're just gonna keep on doing it. Okay, but the way that I see this, and this is what people also have to see too, and I could be wrong, and y'all could be like, "Fuck you." I get it. The tank ran over, let's just say, one guy's foot, and like 6 guys die. I get it. That's how rules is written. That's how it's gonna work. But if you see it from a narrative point of view, spin that in a positive like we do in like D&D and shit like that. You could make it seem more thematic and whatever than it is. But it is shitty to some that, hey, he ran over one guy and somehow the whole platoon died. But, there's some way you can make that into an epic story and not make it sound as bad as you're making it sound right now.
What's funny was when we were discussing it, Kyle's like, "How the hell does that even happen?" dude gets run over by a tank. What? He's just gonna do this? And I was like, "You clearly never been hit by a car." Right. And so the way that I viewed it in my mind is, if you had a tank rushing at you and you're trying to get out of the way, there's a chance you're going to hurt yourself getting out of the way. Or if you look at it in the opposite end of that, the counter to that argument is the tank should get a hit against every single person it rolls over.
Yeah.
So the problem with that mentality is, do people not know how to get out of the way of fucking cars? Do you not look both ways before you cross the road?
You ran over the guy's foot. That guy screamed ow, shot his plasma gun, hit his fellow man in the back, who ended up exploding, and blah, blah, blah. It's just a chain reaction, Kyle. It happens all the time, 40K stuff.
I'm just saying, that's my soapbox. That's my soapbox. Don't get me started on the psychic powers yet. I haven't read the rules enough to get on that soapbox, but I got my carpentry tools out and I'm building it.
There are a lot of differences in the game. Like it is going to be an adjustment period. Like some people are going to have to really read. There's a lot in these books.
I
Man.
just find it funny that Kyle just got into Horus Heresy, and I feel like he was grinding, just got these fucking rules down. Boom, 3.0 hit.
Dude, I'm trying so hard. That pedestal is in the corner, and I'm trying so hard not to whip it out and stand on it. Okay, you're putting the pussy on a pedestal. Okay, okay. I'm trying real hard not to say that, because I was just getting to the point where I was correcting Gabe on rules, and now we got this whole bullshit.
Yeah, like
It feels like Halo all over again.
it, and don't get me wrong, it was like that for me too. We hit the ground running. We try to learn this because we started running events. We started helping Gabe. We started doing all this stuff. And right when you were like, Kyle pulls some fucking nasty shit with this Thousand Suns list. And then it's just like, hey, 3.0 is like next week, bro. You remember all that shit? The test is different, bro. I'm sorry. Oh god.
It is pretty weird because the way psychic powers work is a whole other ballgame, man. Like it's new. At the end of the day, I still think the edition is going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
I think right now Kyle's just upset because Kyle doesn't like change. I think a lot of people are upset because they either don't like change or it was bad timing.
It's not that I don't
Bad
like
timing.
change. Don't get me wrong. I like that there's something new and that this is exciting for everybody. And I like that maybe things will get better, because I had problems with 2.0. But I don't like it I don't like what I'm seeing. I don't like the way it's being handled. That's what it is. It kind of turned into like oh hey guys, guess what? 3.0 is coming out. Oh, here's some leaks. Oh ho ho. And then train wreck, which I know we've
But
gone over this train wreck a lot. But like, bro, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. You've been doing this for 30 years, 40 years. Like, don't you know how to do a new edition?
and this is a good thing to kind of get out because again, to everyone out there, the way that we have to see it also is Kyle's the new guy. So every new guy coming to these Horus Heresy are gonna I'm willing to say a vast majority of them are gonna feel the way he feels.
Why
To some of
couldn't
the veteran players, this has already happened to us, man, multiple times.
why does it
Maybe
why
not
is
to
it
this
still the
extent.
age why is it still the age of darkness? No, I mean
here's the
legit.
here's the funny thing though, Gabe. Maybe you could attest to this. Maybe you could whatever. Is this the worst release we've seen?
Oh no.
Exactly. See. So like
No.
when we talk about this with like the veterans and everything, we like to and then some of the guys that have been in it for a little while, like me or whatever. We have to feel for these new players because they're coming in and they're like, "Fuck, this seems dire," and we're like, "Yeah, it's bad." And then like I asked
So
Gabe, be like, "Hey, you remember when they did this? You remember when they did that?" And you're like, "It's not that bad."
so I have a multi-part explanation for your quandary, Kyle. You're asking why is this still the age of darkness?
Well, I mean,
You're you're in,
if it was 2.0, 2.0 was the age of darkness, right? That's what they started calling it that.
no, it was still the age of darkness in 1.0 too.
Okay, was it? Okay. I just think like it would make more sense to like call this something like the Battle of Istavan or after
Ah, so
Istavan
that's
or
fantastic. So hang on. The age of darkness spans the entire Horus Heresy and a little bit afterwards.
Mhm.
And this is just a reimagining in some ways of the original story. And the second is, if you think this launch isn't pretty fucking Age of Darkness, like they still haven't seen the light at the end of the tunnel. This shit's still fucked up. Like we're gonna be in the Age of Darkness for a while. GW's out here just like, I know we can edit PDFs anytime we want. Dude, the next thing that I'm probably gonna find out is Adobe reached out, found out the Games Workshop was using Adobe, and Adobe now owns the Age of Darkness PDF expansion. And now we have to go through and rename all this shit in the Legacies document because that's the kind of thing that happens to a GW launch.
Yeah, you remember when they had to change Eldar? Now they're Eldari.
Yeah, we're not Legion Astartes. Yeah, we're not the Adeptus Astartes because somebody was like, "Oh, that's a cool name." No, we're the Legion Astartes because Games Workshop tried to copyright the word Space Marine when they had let like 7 other companies use that proprietary information.
There's a lot of name changes that they had to do because they.
There's and don't get me wrong, for the most part, Games Workshop has kind of bounced on their feet. It's been pretty
Yeah,
hilarious. Like when
this
you
isn't
look
as
at
bad as we're making it seem. We've had worse. We've
yeah,
had worse.
when you think of like right now, so Imperial Fist on the 40K side, one of the funniest things is Imperial Fists are like, "Hey, yeah, um, Captain Lysander, or yeah, the first captain or chapter master Lysander has a new model." And our buddy Justin was like, "Oh man, that Imperial Fist model looks pretty clean." I'm like, "Yeah, I remember when he was a sergeant," and that's the truth. In the 3rd edition Codex, he was Sergeant Lysander, but during that debacle in 3rd edition, Games Workshop had reached out to a few other companies because they had made models that had rules, and then they had made rules for characters that did not have models. It was the first era of if you build it, they will come. This is when there were white dwarfs showing you how to make land speeders out of deodorant sticks and how to make terrain out of cardboard boxes, how to turn your leftover paper towel rolls and toilet paper rolls into oil tanks and
When the
terrain.
hobby was the
Right.
hobby. Like
The hobby was the
imagine
hobby,
it.
right?
Yeah.
So what happened was Games Workshop got into a legal dispute with a couple of companies that had produced models for some of those characters that had rules but no model. In Games Workshops, you can't do that. Well, that company won that lawsuit. So Games Workshop had to go back and they had to change the Eldar to the Eldari, and they had to change the Dark Eldar to the Drukari, and they had to change a bunch of others. Like, there's not really much you can do about orcs. Like, orcs are fucking orcs.
Spell them with a
But
K though, right?
but so it's funny that you
That's
say that.
that's another reason.
It's funny that you say that.
You see, theirs goes doom 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 da da doom doom, but ours goes doom 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 da da doom doom. Ours has
That was
Holy
perfect.
shit.
So, so actually, orcs
Keep my David
derive
Bowie
from
at
a
your Vanilla Ice, dude. Fuck that.
orcs derive from a species originally and so amazingly named as corks. That's a discussion. That's a discussion for
Discussion
another
for
day with
yeah.
a lot more bourbon. So Games Workshop had to go through and put these new proprietary names on all of their stuff so they could control their IP. And in the process of that, that's where you got the Legionis Astartes, and you got the new names for some of the custodians, and you got the new names for the Sisters of Silence. That's when the Sisters of Battle became the Adeptus Sororitas. That's where they really leaned on a lot of that Latin interpretation of some of the words because they lost the lawsuit. And that's also now why, if you're out there and you're like, hey, I made a Space Marine, Games Workshop breaks down your door with, 9 SWAT guys and a CAI guy that's like, hey, you're not allowed to have that. We're taking that. They protect their intellectual property to the nines because they got burned. And so the unfortunate byproduct of that is that they will never release anything that can ever be confused for anything else. And it kind of kills a lot of the originality. This, in my opinion, this is why you were like, in 40K, you're like, I have a Devastator squad, and they fire missile launchers. And they're like, yeah, but we have a Primaris Hellfire squad, and they have super crack missiles. This is that ignorant shit.
Hmm.
It's some 100% idiocracy shit. If you just put super in front of it, it's a new thing. Right? So we've seen bad releases. It's just, I think what's got everyone kind of pissed off is that Games Workshop hasn't learned to make a good release.
Yeah. No,
I think
the only front, and this is where I think this is a hot take. This is a hot take. The only front that they had on a good release, and I don't know if they're focusing all of their money and stuff on it. Their gaming scene in video games, like PC gaming, is actually better than what it was.
for the record, they're in a lawsuit right now over that, so scratch that one.
Oh shit! Well, there you go.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. Like, Games Workshop is out there. Like, I'm sure there's some British dude in office somewhere drinking bad tea, and he's like, if we release this, what's the backlash? Like,
Well, we
oh
can't call
well,
him Elf and Eldar no more because Tolkien will come after us. Let's change it to Eldari.
yeah, just like what are we doing with the knife ears? That's racist. Like, so yeah, like 100%. Like Games Workshop is always in some bullshit, but at a certain point, you could fix all of this. Do you know how you fix it, Christian, Kyle? Do you guys know how you fix these horrible drops?
Iron us, we'll fix it for him.
Thank you. You ask the people who play the fucking game.
Exactly.
Ask those guys to be involved, because I guarantee, like, and this is another thing I'll say, and this is going to be a hot take from Gabe. There's been a lot of backlash against Pardo lately. He is an influencer that does Warhammer stuff. I'm not going to call it the channel or bash him or anything else. I want you guys to know I did not know who the fuck that person was until there was internet drama.
True story.
I knew who he was. I knew him, not by name. And then when I looked up and saw who it was, I was like, oh shit, did I never really pay attention that much that was his goddamn name?
Right. And so the very next thing that I saw was like, hey, this person that no one in the Heresy community really knows about is going to be the front man for GW to launch Heresy. Oh yeah, this is going to be a shit show. If a
Okay.
dude I've never really heard of is the flagship for the brand, and it's a person that apparently a lot of other people don't take seriously, you know it's going to be a bad drop.
Okay.
And that's not to say that I don't know enough about the guy. For all I know, he could be an internet like amazing person,
no.
and he might have a big following. But yeah,
I'm gonna say this. I don't know if I should. Fuck it. I'm gonna say it. You let it ramble, edit it out. I don't give a fuck. Whatever it is. I don't know if y'all remember this conversation. The idea of this podcast when we were like, fuck it, we could do it. We were talking about Pardo and didn't even know we were talking about him.
did we really?
We were talking about battle reports from here. I was like, hey, you remember that fucking battle report where they keep on playing armies that they don't know and that they don't teach anyone like the basic rules and stuff like that? And we're like, yeah, it's that guy's cool, but that guy's, I wish you would just explain more. We weren't bashing him, but for a newer player, because Kyle was watching his battle reports and we were like, what did you learn from that? And Kyle would break it down and said, I learned this and that, but I want to learn this. I want to learn about the actual Legion. I want to learn, what are those models? He's not really saying why they're good, what they're for. He he is the reason why we're just like, God, we gotta try to
Bridge this
get some
gap.
Yeah, we gotta try to get the information out there.
Yeah, so and so I think that's one of the biggest miscalculations. Like, and I'll say this: like, I go to a lot of really big games. You guys know this. I'm gearing up to go down to Houston. I'm gearing up for. I'm already planning for Adepticon next year. I've already got stuff set aside for that. I go to a lot of big games. I talk to a lot of guys who are really well rooted in the Horse Heresy community. Never met a motherfucker from Games Workshop in all the time I've been doing this. I've never met one in a Heresy Hall. I've never seen one. So for Horus Heresy to be like, hey, we're gonna have this person be the flagship of our team to bring you Horus Heresy. Could you pick somebody who knows the fucking game? That's all I'm asking.
And I think that's where it's gonna change. Like, in all honesty, there's never been that much support from GW for fucking Horus Heresy, and I believe that they did that on purpose and changed the whole game of Horus Heresy to where it's not even a 3 point. It's a new game. Everyone's gonna have to start over, and so they're just like, okay, who has at least some influence or has a big channel to do this? Hey, here we're changing the rules. Learn them now so we can get you out there. You're gonna be the face.
Yeah, like I'll 100% tell you, like I love the 3.0 rule set. I really do like it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun as soon as we get past the growing pains. But Games Workshop hedged their bet with the wrong online personalities because the people that they used aren't being well received by a lot of the, like, okay, let me put it this way. The people who like watching those channels are not people I have ever played at an event. I've never gone to an event and a guy was like, man, without this guy's battle reports, I don't know how I'd be here today. I've never heard that shit in my life. What I have heard is, man, if it wasn't for the guys over at ABB, I don't know if I'd have ever heard of Adepticon. Man, if it hadn't have been for John and Duncan, I would have learned how to pull out this paint scheme. Man, I'm glad Mike hollered at me. He really showed me how to do skin tones. True story, by the way. I had never attempted salamander skin tones, and Mike kind of gave me some pointers of some ideas, some directions to go in it, and I figured it out. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you for that. So I've never heard, man, thanks for so-and-so at this battle report. They really had to show me how to play the game. A lot of people right now are talking about they're watching the 3.0 battle reports that have been out for 2 months, by the way.
Yeah, that shit. They should.
We still don't know how to play the fucking game.
Yep. And that was my complaint. I've already told you. I was like, these people are going out. We need to learn the basics.
Yeah, so and that's going to lead it. That's going to lead into my wrap up and our announcement for the future episodes. So here's what we are working on behind the scenes, so you guys can have an idea of what direction we're going to be going in with some of our other stuff. We're still going to do the ramblings from the warp because sometimes you just got to get this shit out there.
This
right?
episode's probably going to be called "Yellings from the Warp."
Yeah. No, we didn't call this.
Quiet in
This is
Sigma's
Perils.
library.
This is Perils from the
Perils
Warp.
from the Warp.
This is Perils from the Warp. Let's call it what it is. This is Perils from the Warp. We did a lot of rambling this time.
The manifestations roll doubles.
Yeah, I think you need to put this one out there as Perils from the Warp, Kyle. When you title this one. So here's the direction we want to go in with the podcast for the foreseeable future. We're still doing the ramblings, but we are going to try to have some small side projects where we're going to go through these rules and actually give you guys some model to model breakdowns of how these rules interact. Not so much a battle report of a game. We have been talking about doing battle reports. I know me and Christian have been nipping at the bit for a while to try and do some battle reports, but what we want to do is show you guys like, hey, this is what the challenge subphase looks like. This is how it executes step by step. This is how it works. So that when you guys go to a game, you're not fumbling through it like we do. We really are fumbling through it. And I consider myself a fairly experienced gamer. And even with this, I was still like, oh, well, Kyle, we have to reshoot that one. I got that wrong. So we're going to go through that for you guys. And I don't know if that's going to be attached to ramblings or if we're going to do that as like a side project with a different title, something like that. But it's still going to be part of Late Night Dice Guys. It's still going to be me, Kyle, Christian, going through this and doing some stuff. We want you guys to have the information to play this game, have a good time. I also want you guys to have their resources. Any resources that we get, any information that we have, we'll convey that through our Discord. We are also going to have stuff in the Discord for events. If you're looking to go out to an escalation league, if you have one in your local area, hop in the Discord, go into our looking for games section. There's a looking for games section. There's also an event section. There's also a list building section. Now, the other thing is there's an I'm new section. So if you're brand new to Horus Heresy and you're just as confused and fucked up as we are, we got you covered too.
And don't be alarmed if I accidentally wave at you fucking 10 times, okay? Sometimes the thing messes up and it just sits there and waves at motherfuckers, and I don't know why my account does it. Shout out to whoever was like, you waved so many times at me. I was like, oh my god.
He's really excited to see you. He's our golden retriever energy right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, with my whole chest, our boy Ironborn, or no, Iron Hammer. His name is Iron Hammer.
Yeah,
still don't know your actual name, my guy. Welcome to the channel. I'm so glad to have you in our Discord. Christian is not a stalker. And he doesn't wave at people like, and he even said, he was like, man, I'm brand new for a crush, like, because Christian just kept waving at him like it with a severed hand, just kept waving.
I forgot what we were recording, and Gabe just out of nowhere just broke character and said, motherfucker, stop waving at him. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I really did. We were in the middle of a recording. I was like, bro, are you gonna keep waving? You're like, I'm not waving. I'm like, my shit keeps beeping like you are, and then without missing a beat, homeboy pops in. He just like 3 waves. Really, my guy? that was chef's kiss. That was perfect. So, and then here's the last part, guys. And this is probably the most important part about this whole thing. Here at Late Night Dice, we went through the process of buying every production book for 3.0. If you come across a rule or an interpretation or a war gear item or something you don't know, hop into the Discord and put it into the random thoughts. We will go through and find an answer for you. I'll collaborate with other podcasts. I'll collaborate with other people. I'll reach out. If you need me to, I'll email GW. We'll find an answer to your question. Now, on that front, I don't know if GW is going to answer it without giving me like a 19-page explanation of how the IP needs to be in line to give me the answer, but we'll still do it.
And
that shit too.
We're going to have to screenshot it because, they're probably going to hotfix their answer as they email it to you.
Yeah, so 100%, we're here to grow the game. I'm always going to be here to grow the game. I want to meet more people. I want to play with more people. I want to get to know everybody who shows up. You see me at an event, come say hi to me, man. I'm going to be at Warzone. I'm going to be at Adepticon. I'm going to be at a bunch of different places going into the next year. You see me somewhere, come up, holler. I'll buy you a beer. We'll have a beer together. We'll do something. I want to see more people in this hobby, whether Games Workshop tries to fuck it up or not.
Yeah, we're still going to push the hobby.
we're still going to push this. And you guys have to remember, we said this in one of our earlier episodes. The community will always fix itself when it comes to Horus Heresy. The community will always take care of itself. That's really important. So look forward to those stuff that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing some pretty deep dives on this and some pretty in-depth explanations. How you're going to interact with certain rules on the table, how you're going to interact with terrain pieces and things like that, because a lot of the wording around terrain is problematic. But we're going to get there. With that being said, I'm going to actually pick this time. Kyle, do you have anything for the viewers?
Yeah, we kind of soapboxed a little bit. This is the perils of the warp here, but I may have my problems with this, but I'm gonna give it a fair shake. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna maybe even start a new chapter. I don't know.
A new what?
A new legion. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I like my Thousand Suns, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle having somebody else roll their perils against me. That rubs my fur the wrong way. So I might move on to I don't know, Night Lords or something.
Mm-hmm.
Gabe's like, well, I believe it when we see it.
Christian, what about you? What you got for everybody, man?
No, I think this was a good ramble. This is you're always gonna get real situations from us. You're always gonna get our real thoughts. We're not gonna hide anything from anyone. So just appreciate all the people listening to this, and yeah, I think 3.0 is gonna be really good. We just have to give it a chance.
Yep, I agree. I think it's gonna be fun. I think we're gonna have a good time with it. We're just gonna have to be vigilant, and we're gonna have to read for real, full words, sentences, and paragraphs. With that being said, guys, thanks for joining us for another episode. We love having you guys here, and I love seeing you guys in the Discord. I look forward to seeing you guys. As always, thank you for viewing. Fuck Erebus. Happy dice, happy life. We'll see you on the next one.